Do you have a copy of your note on the website?
My
so
note?
People, I mean, a copy of the your affidavit. To
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
what people,
Yeah.
I have multiple copies of my affidavits on the website, and you can see that they got better and better and better.
Okay.
There is one up there now that says something about borrower, like Cantrell's new affidavit about borrower or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm reading the deed of trust in the note, and I'm just spelling it out there that I find no evidence that this person ever received a loan pursuant to the verbiage in the deed of trust and in the adjustable rate note, and I just put in the verbiage. There's just nothing, you know, they give an alias of the name lender to the bank, they give an alias of the name borrower to you, but they don't, but it's not even you. They say like Cynthia Cantrell, a unmarried woman. That's borrower. Well, that's not my name. My name is not Cynthia Cantrell, an unmarried woman. Never used that before in my life. So anyway, I go through that whole thing, which we've talked about before, about the aliases. In the cases where the deed of trust was notarized on a different day than the dated day on the deed of trust, okay? We've talked about that. I finally got really good with my verbiage on that, why that's an issue. And what I say is that if the document was notarized a different day on the deed of trust than was the document was dated, okay, let's say the 5th and notarized on the 7th, okay? The reason it's an issue is because the deed of trust references a note signed and dated on the 5th, not the 7th, okay? So if it is proven that you actually did sit down with the notary and sign on the 7th, unless you're going to say that you came in and signed your note on the 5th, came back on the 7th in front of the notary and signed the deed of trust on the 7th, then it makes no sense. Why would you do that? Why would you come in and just sign your note and then 2 days later come in and sign your deed of trust? Doesn't make any sense. You may have to do an affidavit that says, I only went once, in order to make this all make sense for your case. Who knows? They may push that issue. What I write is that either the notary did not personally witness your signature on the 7th, therefore committed notary fraud, or the deed of trust is not evidenced by a note signed and dated on the 5th, because you dated and signed a note on the 7th. Okay? So either way they're screwed, it invalidates the deed of trust, because the deed of trust is what they take your house with. The deed of trust is only evidenced if it's with the note. Well, if you don't have a note that's signed and dated on the 5th, then you don't have a note that the deed of trust is referencing. Do you see? Mm-hmm. So either way, it invalidates the deed of trust. So if you're lucky enough to have a situation where you signed a document, I know you're one of them, on a different date than what the dated date is, then that's huge. And that's what I spell out in these affidavits. Also, I've found that usually it's on the 3-day right of rescission. It has some verbiage that says this transaction took place on the 5th. That's what it says. Okay, I agree with you. Then why do we have a document notarized on the 7th? You see what I'm saying? So look for these things in your documents. If you're going to have me do an affidavit, get me this stuff, because this is powerful stuff. And then you can do your own affidavit too, which I've put versions up for people to use for themselves as well.
The 3 days right to rescind, that is only on refis, not on purchases, right?
It's on 3-day right of rescission is usually on an owner-occupied property only. You know, you had this ability. But if you have one of those documents, look at somewhere on there. It'll say the date of the transaction is. And then if you look at your final settlement statement, your HUD-1 statement, it's supposed to match the date on your deed of trust in your note. And I ran this by Bill McCaffrey, and he agrees with me it's supposed to match. A lot of them do. A lot of the times, your settlement talks about funding of your loan on the 5th. Okay, then why are you signing the deed of trust on the 7th? You see what I'm saying? None of that jives and makes any sense. And it blows a hole through the whole chain of title. If your deed of trust is jacked up, anything else they ever did with it is jacked up. And it invalidates all that. So that's what I'm putting in these affidavits. So if you want one, let me know. I'll be happy to do that.
How do we let you know?
Bottom that says who's the
No.
registered.
No,
That's really
that's
important.
really good. Okay, John made a discovery that I missed. It was in the notice of trustee sale document for Arizona. And at the bottom of the last page of the notice of sale, it had some verbiage that said that this, I don't know, company is regulated by.
Trustee is regulated by the Arizona Department of Banking.
Yeah, Arizona Department of Banking
There's no such thing.
changed its name 6
Financial
years ago.
institutions.
It went out 6 years ago. It's now called the Department of Financial Institutions or something like that. Yeah. So obviously that's an old form. Our understanding is they can't have mistakes like that on the form. Therefore, that would invalidate the notice of trustee sale document pursuant to what we believe, and therefore I put that in affidavit. The other thing I found, one gentleman actually pointed it out to me, and now I look for it all the time. Sometimes they transpose these APN numbers, and they'll put a notice of sale out there, or
Yes.
substitution trustee or assignment with the wrong APN number. So you look for those types of things. If you're not having me do it, make sure you do that.
What is an APN?
That's the parcel number. That's the it's like I think it's 7, 8, 9, 9-digit number.
It's a parcel
that
number, yeah.
describes your property
Yeah.
pursuant to all the records. This person's, it was the first document they transposed it, and they must have copied on every successor document that they did. They had the wrong parcel number. So I put that in my affidavit. It doesn't even reference the right property. It's an invalid document. So, anyway, that's the latest. Any questions about anything?
Nope.
Okay. John, you want to definitely go over that?
Yeah, I'll go over that, and then we'll take a lunch, and then we'll come back and do the court. I don't know where Jay is, so soon he'll be doing some of the court stuff, and then we'll have to fake something to have her as witness. When they move it to, they always want to move it to district court. The reason being, there again, this is my theory, and I can't prove it, but as we know, my ability to be wrong is stagnant at best. So, under 28 U.S.C. Section 1441B, you must read this. It's the second half of the paragraph. It says that if anybody is a citizen of the state of Arizona that's involved in this suit, it cannot be moved to district court. Now, Bosco's in a lot of these suits, and he's the one moving them to district court. The reason being, I believe, is that I don't think the banks would have ever pulled this off if they didn't already buy all the district judges. Would have been stupid. Would have been stupid to try and do this if they didn't own the district court judges. And the district court judges, like Cindy's case was dismissed, no grounds for the dismissal. I've already had my run-ins with Silver, so she just sends the marshals over to my house. Oh, you're here to scare me? Really? And I was polite.
Unusually polite, might I add.
Well, how did you avoid them? How did you avoid it that day of it?
I didn't avoid them.
No.
Well, how did they not take you away?
He hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
And they try to get you to do something. Like if they give you a lawful order, just comply. Say, viet armis, you're claiming this lawful order, I'm going to comply. You can't arrest me, but I'm voting my objection to it, or I'm voicing my objection to this, because it's not truly a lawful order, and you've now kidnapped me. It's just practice. That's why we do this. If you walk into these situations without practice, you're screwed. So we practice the situations. I've had an abundance of time to practice dealing with these people. Normally they show up with the machine guns drawn and everybody's just, God, I want to
Shoot somebody.
Yeah, that's how their whole action is. They try and shoot me to death.
Based on that then, the USC 1441, John, does that mean if stay lifting appeal was dismissed that we can ask for a review based on your new information of citizenship?
Well, no, it means that they don't have in personam jurisdiction. They don't have jurisdiction. Here's why. Let me finish this. This says that if there's an Arizona citizen involved, they cannot move it to district court. An Arizona citizen other than you. Okay? It's called diversity of jurisdiction. It's under what's called the Erie Doctrine. Tompkins versus Erie Railroad, 1938. But in the Arizona Constitution, corporations are citizens. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's in the Constitution.
Corporations are citizens pursuant to the Arizona Constitution. I don't remember the article. I think it's Article 2, Section 4. But don't quote me on that. Look it up. But under the Arizona Constitution, corporations are citizens. So if a bank is licensed in Arizona and it's an Arizona corporation, you can't move it to district court. So our attorney's supposed to know this?
Yes.
So if they move it to district court, did they lie to the court?
Yes.
That's it. You got them. And I'll tell you, we're putting this in pleadings now. I stumbled across this a few days ago, and I'm like, oh shit. And we're hammering Bosco on it, because Bosco's a defendant in one of the cases.
All the time, yeah.
So he's definitely a citizen, because he's an Arizona bar card holder. So they know that what they're doing is a criminal act. And they're knowingly doing it. And the courts are taking it because we're not saying anything.
Yeah.
You've got to say something. That's what half of this is finding out the lies and what they do so that I can go back and find a law that says, no, you can't do that. Dale's talk here a while ago, I was completely against them talking here, but I got conned into it by a couple of the ladies, and he tell you all kinds of things that's wrong, and I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to undo the damage. The problem is, I'm not going to be there for you in court. The other problem is, I may not be here much longer anyways. Arpaio is very, very clear that I must die. He is not joking around. He ordered me executed in jail, and the Mexican Mafia turned him down because they liked me. But he was very clear. They had to murder me in jail. He's ordered me murdered since then. If I wind up dead, it will be on direct orders from Joseph Arpaio, the sheriff of Maricopa County. Do not question that. If I wind up dead, you will all sign affidavits that say, I told you, Arpaio made it very clear he's going to have me killed. The only reason I'm not dead is because I've said this enough to where Arpaio's scared to death. If I'm dead, he may get prosecuted. So,
Like he's scared.
I think that is, because you get enough people sign affidavits saying, this guy warned us, because that's a deathbed confession. You can't fight that in court. He would be prosecuted on that alone. And the feds, I'm also the lead witness against Fed in his prisoner torture case. So if the lead witness in a case against you dies and he says that everybody, blah, 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 this is the guy that ordered me dead, I don't think Arpaio would be able to beat that one. But even all of that notwithstanding, I may start my case towards the end of next month. If that happens, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do much of this. If I get convicted, obviously not, because I'd be dead in no time. They'd kill me off as soon as I get there. The other aspect being that, during the case, it could take a couple of weeks. I don't know that I'll be able to do much of this while I'm doing that. And if I am acquitted, or if the case gets dismissed, I'm not sure how much longer I can really do this. We'll ask for donations again, we'll pass around the bucket. People have no idea how little we get in donations. None. Think about what you've donated and compare yourself to the average person, and guys, there's no money in this. Okay?
Those people.
Okay, what kind of a hearing is it?
Motion for dismissal by the defendant.
Okay, and what did they put in their pleadings?
That I have no basis that for my complaint, and that according to them, the show me the note loan theory is
Okay,
has been
Jay,
proven
don't
not.
talk in circles, please.
This is what they've said in their document.
They didn't say the show me the note loan theory. They didn't.
They sure did.
Show me the note theory.
Show me the note theory.
Okay, then say that.
Okay.
Don't say show me the note loan theory.
Okay, the show me the note theory does not work. And it's like, we're not even talking about that. So
You guys,
way
here's
out
the deal, and you'll hear me ride Jake pretty hard. This shit's getting a little ridiculous. If you're gonna come into court and talk in circles, you're already screwed. You're already screwed. You're an adult. If you can't communicate properly, you fuck. Don't show up. Okay? And so, if I question you about something, don't friggin' argue with me. Do it my way or lose. Those are your options. Okay. So, they're claiming that somehow you're involved with Show Me the Note.
Yes. And that's not what I'm all about at all.
You got that?
Mm-hmm.
You're the bank.
I am, huh?
Throw your soul over there.
Okay.
And your spine.
And my
And
spine.
your huevos.